We are the Morning Hustle.
What up, y'all? It's the Morning Hustle with L'Oreal and Kyle Santillion. And y'all know our door is always open, and we love having guests on the show. And these brothers in here today are trying to help you get to the bag. You know what I mean? We got the brothers from Earn Your Leisure, along with the total team for Invest Fest. And it's a pleasure to have y'all here today, man. How y'all doing?
Good, man.
Good.
Yeah, and it's happening in Atlanta. Nah, we ruined it. We ruined it, so I wanted to ruin it too.
Yeah, so
Now that we got that
So for the people that don't know, you guys were having a contest and asking people where the next Invest Fest for 2024 should be, and it was down to Atlanta, New York, Houston, and LA was the other one. So for the people that don't know, how did you guys decide, yes, Atlanta's going to be it? Or how did the people decide?
Well, Atlanta, we know a lot of good people in Atlanta. We spoke to the mayor. Shout out to him. We actually had a press conference with him last week.
That's our guy.
So, when we put it, it's become a staple in Atlanta. If you look at InvestFest, very similar to Freaknik.
Okay. Documentary coming.
For sure.
Get your coochie cutters out.
Slightly different with the content, but very similar as far as cultural impact.
Yeah.
So it's become a staple to Atlanta. It's a holiday for Atlanta. So when we put that we were actually potentially looking to move it, we got a lot of calls and a lot of people, it was a lot of back channels being communicated. And ultimately, we just felt that ATL was the perfect place to have it. It's the mecca of black business. It's a place that we've had it for the last 3 years. And it always just feels like a holiday every time InvestFest weekend comes around. So
For sure.
we want to, contribute to the city's economy and all of the creators and continue the path that we've set.
Before we even get any further, because Troy and Rashad, you guys have been here in the past, but now that we have the total team here, and we want to introduce you guys as well. Of course, Mathew, Garland, and Michael MacDonald, you guys are part of not just Earn Your Leisure, but the whole Invest Fest program, right? So welcome you guys to the show. Appreciate y'all being here too.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you for sharing the spotlight.
They don't be sharing?
Yeah, we're finding out a lot today.
Breaking news alert.
Make sure the camera has a wide angle, please.
All right, so Invest Fest 2024 is decided is going down in Atlanta. I felt like last year was big. I felt like last year went down crazy. You know what I mean? Are you guys trying to manage the same type of numbers? Are you trying to make it bigger? What is the goal for this year?
Yeah, I think the goal is to make sure that the experience is even better, right? We have the volume of people, but how can we elevate the experience? And so we sat in the lab and said, how can we do that? So a couple of things, we're going to have satellite events. We're going to focus on education. We want to make sure that when people come, right, they're going to fellowship with each other. They're going to network with each other. But we want to make sure that they leave with something. That's more important, right? Like InvestFest, like you said, is a holiday for Atlanta. And it's a holiday for information. And so it's more important that what happens after InvestFest actually takes place. And so we want to make sure that we deliver on all fronts. So we're excited for the city to see what's happening.
And you guys have brought out some big names over the years, from Diddy to Steve Harvey to Tyler Perry. What can we expect as far as guest-wise? Who will be the speakers this year that you can hint us or give away a little something?
So we haven't announced a lineup yet, but you can expect nothing but the biggest.
Yeah.
Right. That's how we do it.
That was a Rick Ross hint.
Yeah.
The biggest.
Yeah. I mean, we've had Dan Cathy, billionaire, Robert Smith.
Yeah.
So we expect to continue that tradition of having multiple billionaires there, but also a lot of people of power, influence in our community, and a lot of folks, not just from the big names, but people who can actually educate. A lot of entrepreneurs and educators, because again, like Troy said, it's not just about the inspiration and the motivation. We want people to be able to go to InvestFest and be able to leave there to be able to execute on whatever their dreams and their goals are. So that's really the big focus this year is providing a lot of presentations, a lot of breakout rooms, a lot of education on various different topics.
So let's be more specific on classes or what they can learn when they're coming to invest.
So one of the things that we'll probably definitely have a home buying workshop presentation for people that are looking to buy a house, right? Because that's obviously something that's extremely important.
Right.
We definitely will probably have something as far as on the tutorial side when it comes to cryptocurrency investing, stock market investing. artificial intelligence is something that we definitely are going to focus on this year. This has been the #1 topic in the financial world for 2024.
Right.
So, everything is getting replaced by AI. People are nervous of AI. So educating people on how they can benefit from AI, right? How they can use ChatGPT, how they can integrate AI in their business system so they don't feel like, it's coming for them or scared. So those are just a few things that we definitely will highlight, provide in-depth information and real takeaway this year.
What do you guys feel like is the biggest disconnect for people that are trying to learn how to invest and the people that are successful in doing it and putting it in practice?
I think education. Right.
Okay.
Most people are just trying to be a millionaire today, but they're not taking the time to actually educate themselves, right? You can't build a house starting with the roof. You got to start with the foundation of the house.
Come on,
right?
Bars.
So the foundation is your... I thought that deserved at least 10. At least 10. Let's go. All right? Big gems, right? So, the education is the most important thing. That's the foundation of anything. The more you learn, the more you earn at the end of the day. So if people are taking the time to really focus and take their time and not have FOMO, right? Take your time to learn before you go out there and invest $1. Then more people will have more success when it comes to investing.
Yeah, I think in addition to that, it's fear. Right, for so long, this topic of financial education or financial literacy hasn't been commonplace, right? In the day and age of now, where you're talking about that in your barbershop, you're talking about that in your hair salon, it becomes part of the fabric of what the dialogue now is. And so when people don't understand something, they fear it, and when they fear it, they feel like they're left out of it. They never get active in it. And so our thing was to come through and democratize it, right? Come through with the way we talk, the way we present ourselves, but make you understand this is something that everybody should participate in because you can. And it's not as difficult as it seems. And so our job as leaders in the space is to make sure that everybody feels comfortable being inside the space so they can take advantage of it, because plenty of other communities are, and we've been left out the conversation, so that time is time to change.
I do see a lot of people that come out and they're like, okay, I'm going to teach you how to do this financial literacy, and then they end up being scammers or they end up getting people for their money. So I feel like that's a factor in our community as well, where people are kind of hesitant on investing and doing stuff like that. So say you were dealing with somebody that's been burned before, how would y'all approach the situation with someone like that?
Well, the first thing to do is fully educate yourself, right? I think people get scammed when they have a lack of knowledge. I always tell people, never do something based off of what somebody else told you to do, right? And never fully trust anybody. So it should never be a situation where you're giving somebody $10,000 and it's like, okay, make this work for me, right?
Yeah.
Now, what you should do is listen to somebody. They give you information. Now, you go down a rabbit hole yourself, fact check the information, ask other people, and you invest the $10,000 yourself. That way, you have nobody to blame but yourself. You can't say, okay, well, I gave this person money and he burnt me. No, he gave you information. You have to do more due diligence on your own and then act on the information. So that's extremely important. I think when people are lazy, then it leads to a vulnerability, right? Because if I just say, okay, look, I got a Lamborghini, that's enough credibility for me to invest $100,000 for you. Give me $100,000, I'm gonna buy a home for you in Minnesota. And you give me $100,000 and then you never hear from me again, then you got scammed, but also you didn't take the proper precautions to protect yourself. So that's extremely important. I always tell people all the time, never write a check to somebody. Never give somebody money blindly. Never just act because somebody told you something.
Right.
Take everything and use it with a rational mind, right? That's something that I think we have to encourage more and more, that it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. Nobody's going to give you life-changing information and you're going to just become a millionaire tomorrow.
People believe that. I believe that. I see a lot of people thinking, I'm going to just give it to him. He got a Lambo, so that means I'm going to get one too.
Right.
Yeah, no, that's not how it works, and that's the quickest way.
I wish it did.
Talking a lot about just false information and stuff like that spread on social media or whatever. This is a big thing I saw coming into 2024, and a lot of people are trying to figure out whether or not it was true. For people that have LLCs and sole proprietorships, and they were talking about this new act that puts penalties on people if they don't transfer it, and you can get up to a $500 a day fine. You guys know what I'm referring to?
Yeah, I've heard it. I've seen it on TikTok.
You see it on TikTok.
Yeah, me too.
That's what I'm saying. But things like that are being shown on social media, and then at the end of the day, I'm like, yo, is this real or not?
Consult with a professional before you make any decision, especially when it comes to taxes, right? So before you take any advice in the tax world, you should talk to a CPA, right? That's extremely important, and then they can fully educate you. So you might be able to bring, because sometimes the information is not wrong, it's just not all the way correct.
Right.
They might have left out a vital part in that, right? Or they might have said something, but they didn't say the second part of it, right? So now a professional can actually break it down for you in full understandable layman terms as opposed to a 60-second clip. So social media is good because it's provided people access quickly into it. Like, as far as you don't have to go to college, you can learn something very quickly, but it can be detrimental when that's the end of your research. You know what I'm saying? But that's not just finance, that's anything. People, politics, whatever. People are learning about things on social media. Right? So they're not fully researching anything. They're just seeing something on it, and now they have become an expert because they watched a 60-second TikTok reel. So
all the time.
Understand that's just the entry. Social, and this is why InvestFest is so important, right? Now you have an hour to learn about something in depth from a professional. Now you have 2.5 days to actually go to in-depth workshops where you can have your pen, your pad. It's not a highlight reel. It's not a 60-second clip. This is something that now, even after you get off stage, you can talk to people in the vendor marketplace, right? You can go to an insurance broker and pick his brain and see different things like that. So this is when the real education starts to come. Because people will say all the time as far as like, well, I can learn everything on YouTube. Potentially, but what you can't learn is the face-to-face relationships. This is what we have right now is a face-to-face relationship. We built a relationship with you guys, so this is like our 5th time coming or whatever, but that's because every time that we've come, we've built a relationship, right? We couldn't do that just on DM. It's not the same, and I think that's the biggest thing that people don't fully understand. That's why events are important. That's why face-to-face interaction is important, right? Because the relationships that you make in person could potentially change your life along with the information. If you just have the information, you're only halfway there. You have to have the relationships also. And if you just have the relationships and no information, then you just become part of somebody's entourage.
That's true.
So you got to tie them together.
So taxes are coming up. Tax deadline is coming up. Some people did make a lot of money because they went to InvestFest and they listened and they did everything they were supposed to do. But now they're in a different situation. That accountant is not working for them that they was using before. Their situations are a little different. Who would you recommend that they would go to even find a new accountant or something that's better suited for you? Because you might be overpaying someone and you're not even needing somebody like that. What would y'all suggest?
I can actually answer that. My fiance is
I was wondering if you was here, Jesus.
I don't want to talk on things I don't know about. I only speak on things I know about. And,
Can I get a bell for this? Zoom in.
Yeah, I only like speaking on things I know about. But it's funny that you said that because my fiance, she's had an accountant for over 10 years, but she became a millionaire.
Yeah.
And her accountant never did taxes or did accounting for a millionaire. So he didn't actually know how to get the benefits for her, to make her save money on taxes. So she actually messed up her taxes, messed up her whole thing. So I would advise you go to someone that is actually doing business with someone with the level of business you're doing. That's what I would advise because that's what she had to do. So
that's real.
Referral.
That's real. I got a question for you, Matthew. Man, you're known as MG, the mortgage guy.
Yes, sir.
And one of the things that people are scared about these days is big corporations buying up housing, making it harder for the average person to own homes, and they're talking about buying neighborhoods and only buying them just to rent them out to people. Where do you see that going? Is that a real problem? Is that something we should address? And if you're maybe on the cusp of trying to buy a home and dealing with that, what do you suggest for that person?
I mean, here in Georgia, in particular, institutional investors are buying up pretty much everything, right? There's
We're syndicated. So
you can say everywhere.
We're everywhere. Very important. Very important. That's a bell for the syndication. A bell for the syndication. Very important.
With all due respect.
People in the Detroit like, what?
I don't give a fuck about Atlanta.
Fuck Atlanta. But just in general, right? Institutional investors are buying up everything nationwide, and even foreign money. A lot of people are not talking about the foreign money that comes over here and that's buying a lot of these homes as well. So, that's always going to be a problem, right? This is a free market. It's a capitalist society. So I don't think unless the government comes in and, makes laws that says that corporations can't buy but X, Y, and Z amount of homes, that's never going to stop, right? Because real estate is, and that should actually encourage us to say, look, if they're investing into real estate, we need to follow the leader.
True.
Right? Why are we sitting on the sidelines? You got to understand, black people, our home ownership rate is what, 42, 43%? That means damn near 58, almost 60% of our community is renting, right? Wealth starts with real estate. Right, it's probably going to be the biggest purchase that most people in our community are ever going to make. So, and a lot of us have fear of home ownership because we're generational renters, right? We're not generational wealth builders. So what we try to do, and what I specifically do, and I've been doing this for 21 years, been in the mortgage business and real estate, is trying to educate and help people to understand the process of buying a home, that it's not as difficult as you might think it is. Right? As long as you have the tools and you have the resources, then you'll be able to not only buy the real estate, but sustain the real estate, because it's easy to get approved for a loan. But if you don't make those payments, the bank is going to take it back. Right? So what we try to do is to teach home ownership and sustain it, but also real estate investing, because we all can become the Black Rocks. Right? We all can become institutional investors by pooling our money together the right way, but we just have to have the knowledge.
Really quickly, do you see a crash coming?
Hell no.
No?
Hell no.
Because it feels like everything's on a bubble right now. It feels like
it, but is it?
Right.
It's election. I think it's because elections are here.
Nah, not even none of that, right? It's supply and demand. It's very simple, right? There's still, even with interest rates being 7% plus right now, there's still a lot of demand for housing. There's a housing shortage in America. We need about 7.2 million homes across the nation to kind of curb the demand right now. And what we don't have right now is we don't have those foreclosures that we had back in 2008, right? Okay. See, I've been doing this since the Wild Cowboys days, right? I'm probably one of the reasons why the market crashed back in the day.
Oh, thanks a lot.
Yeah, you're welcome.
No, we ain't making a bill for that.
No bells for that.
You know how long it took for my value to come in?
Well, I'm just being real, because in those days, it was the Wild Cowboy days. There wasn't rules and regulations on the mortgage end, but now we have all those rules and regulations. So the same underlying factors that it was back in 2007, 2008, 2009, 2010, it's not here today, because my industry is overregulated. We can't do what we did back in the day. And with that being said, there's not enough foreclosures and short sales and things like that that's hitting the marketplace, because now you have loan modification and workout plans. And when COVID happened, you had all these different type of programs that they came out to I mean, people didn't have to pay their mortgage or rent for over a year. Right?
Yeah.
We didn't have that 10, 15 years ago. So if you don't have that supply, how can you meet the demand? And then how can there be a crash?
Gotcha.
Right? There's not going to be a crash. Homes are going to continue to appreciate nationwide. Now, it might not appreciate 20%, 30% like it did during the pandemic, but appreciation is appreciation. If it goes up 3% annually, which is normal, right, that's still appreciation on top of the 2020, 2019, 2021 appreciation of those record years. So it's going to continue to increase over the next couple of years.
Okay, so do we have a date for InvestFest?
Yeah, we have a date, August 23rd through the 25th here in Atlanta, Georgia, at the Georgia World Congress Center. It's going to be an eventful weekend. Like I said, this year we've added some satellite events. We've added more education, but we also added give back. So we're going to be giving back to the community, which is going to be incredible. Like that, this is something that, we want to leave an impact here as well, right? Rather than saying, what are the people going to take away? What are we going to leave? And so we're giving back to the community. So we're excited for everybody to come out and see what we have.
Y'all are like rock stars at this thing. When y'all walk, the whole place follows behind y'all. How y'all gonna keep people in the damn rooms to pay attention? Y'all got to just sit in there with them.
That's it. Yeah. I mean, we make our way around everywhere. So, we're in the vendor marketplace. We're in the food court. We're in this is the main hall. We're in the second stage. We're in the foyer just because we want to touch the people. It's important. I know what that's like to be on the other end, where it's like you've been watching somebody for so long and you have an opportunity now to be in contact with them. And so we want to make sure we take advantage of every one of those moments. So taking pictures, smiling, giving as much advice as we can, and then getting on stage and doing what we do.
Yeah.
Freaknik is coming back to Atlanta, y'all.
It's the financial
Financial Freaknik.
That was a bar. For everybody listening, man, across the country right now, they want to get their tickets for InvestFest, get the information, man. Where should they go?
investfest.com. It's as easy as that. And tickets are on sale right now. And vendor booths. So that's a big part of InvestFest. We have last year over 400, might have close to 500 vendors this year. So local entrepreneurs, any entrepreneur actually, if you want to sell your products, if you want to network, 3 days, over 50,000 people over the course of the weekend. It's going to be a great opportunity for you to highlight your business. That's one of the biggest things that entrepreneurs struggle with is exposure. So vendor booths, the waiting list is available right now, and we'll release that soon too. So all information is on investfest.com.
Yeah. Appreciate y'all, man. Thank y'all for coming through, talking to us once again. Good to meet you guys as well. And love what you're doing, man. I wish we had this a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it's definitely here today, man. We appreciate what y'all doing for sure.
Thank you for having us.
We are the Morning Hustle.